breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the Matador Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. Eric Ward is here. He's talking to somebody important. I'm not going to say who because I want to keep him out of trouble. So there we go. Eric Ward is going into year 3 as Estacado's head coach. He's probably going to get tired of me asking questions like I'm going to ask him, but we'll talk about that. And they start off against Lubbock High, which first time Estacado and Lubbock High will play since 2017.
Wow.
They had played 4 or 6 years in a row at that point. I'm going to guess years before, once Estacado opened and got one state championship first year, got going, that Lubbock High and Estacado played regular, but it hasn't been a real common thing. So this is kind of cool. And Jason Sims told me the name. The LISD Showcase first week, Lubbock High, Estacado Thursday night at Lowry Field, Coronado Monterey Friday night at Lowry Field. It's kind of cool that all 4 teams are playing. I'm going to give you some motivation here, Eric, as we were talking. The last time that Estacado played a 5A school from LISD, well, I'm sorry, this will be the next to last time. My very first year when I launched HubCityPreps.com, the very first game I covered was Coronado against Estacado. You know how that game turned out?
How'd it turn out?
Estacado beat Coronado, and that was a good Coronado team. That was Sawyer Robertson at quarterback, and it was a good team. That was Joe Cluley may put that on his headstone someday. I beat Coronado.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. You've got no pressure, but you get to play Lubbock High. That's great for the east side, for the downtown area. That's great that you guys get together. You've scrimmaged the last couple of years, but how excited are you as a coach to get to match wits with Juan Rod and his guys in a game that matters a little bit more?
I'm very excited. Much respect for Coach Juan. I think he's an awesome guy. He's phenomenal. But the focus is on always what we need to do in the process that it takes. And so I'm very excited. I know the kids have been chopping at the bit and ready to play, and I'm excited to get out there and play some more football.
There's a reason they're chomping at the bit. Another great season for your guys. Ended with a little bit of a way you didn't want it to end.
Yes, sir.
Against a very good team. Don't get me wrong. That district, man, they know how to play football out there a little bit. Brock and Graham and those guys. But here we go with these questions you're not going to like very much.
Go ahead.
First year you get here, you have to kind of learn your guys on the run. Really good season. Last year you got settled in. Had a guy named Cedric Ross, had a guy named James Bozeman, had some guys that were back for their second year with you, 4th year in varsity, I believe.
Yes, sir.
You kind of build on that. Now, 3rd year, you're settled in. They're settled in with you, but you also have a wave of new faces. This is where, as a first-time head coach a few years ago, now you have to start from scratch, but you have to start building with guys who have been here for you. What's that been like for you in the off season?
It's been fun. I think coaching is just that. You have to take kids from one destination or one point to another, and through that transition, that's the maturation process. That's where they mature. And so I think the most fun part of coaching is growing them up and getting them older. And so that's what I look forward to. And I'm excited about it, and I'm just blessed to be able to do it.
Because you've got a unique perspective. You played college ball, so
yes,
you know that side. I was a military guy a long time ago, 38 years ago. And to me, a high school coach is kind of comparable to being in the military. You show up, you go to the mess hall, they hand you something, that's what you get. You got to start. You got to make the best of what you got. You don't get to pick what you get to eat. College coaches, especially now, get to pick their groceries and find different stuff. I respect that. I love college coaches, don't get me wrong, but I respect the heck out of high school coaches because you guys, you get what you get, and you start making the best of it. And the last 2 years, you guys have done that. Tell us about the groceries now. What do these guys look like?
I think the best connotation to put it as is like the potter's house. You got to take the clay and you got to formulate that clay into what you want it to be. And so to answer your question, we're grinding day in and day out, and we're preaching stack days, you know. And I think when you focus on the process, the results will come. And so I don't preach results, I preach the process. And to capitalize the process, you got to always go and attack the day each day. So to answer your question, we're developing, we're growing up, and I'm excited to see what they're going to go out there to do and compete together. And I'm ready for it.
Now, the bad news is, and my guy sent me the little preview he wrote on you guys. The bad news is you don't have a running back named Ross for the first time at Estacado since 2019, 20.
Yeah.
That's been a pretty good run. You have a guy that maybe, Bobby Ross, who maybe, and I'll say this without even blinking, maybe the best running back that's ever put on a uniform in Lubbock, Texas.
Yes,
followed by younger brother who's just electric and I said this earlier, I don't know if you were listening. If Cedric Ross and Chase Campbell don't step on the field for their college teams this year, something's wrong, because those guys are D1 ready. They were last year, and they're ready to go. Cedric's maybe, I hate to qualify it, I'll say he's definitely one of the fastest kids I've ever seen in a football uniform.
Yeah, I'll second that. You know, it's something to be said for the Ross brothers. You know, right after this, I'm going to go find their dad and see if they have any more siblings. You know, but, you know, something to be said for that family, the dad, the mom. You know, those kids come from a great background, and they're phenomenal football players. I mean, I can only imagine how proud the dad is.
Oh, man.
But overall, you know, I talk to Cedric every week, and he is tearing it up there. And so I'll be shocked to see him not step on that field. So my expectation is to see him on that field because of what he's shown me. You know, he sends updates every day, and I'm just excited for him. And, you know, Bobby just welcomed his first child into the world.
Right,
I'm excited for him, you know. And I always preach to our kids, it's bigger than football. You know, I just try to preach to extract the principles for football to help you be a better father, to help you be a better husband, and to help you lead your family one day. Because I always tell them, you're going to be a father one day. And if you can extract something from this program to help you lead that, then we've done our jobs as coaches. And so credit to those young men, but also, you know, we have new faces.
Yep,
we have
it's time to pass the baton.
It's fun to pass the baton, you know, and coaching, you get a new group every year. You know, it's like a revolving door. But we have a running back, and he got some series last year. His name is Gary Brooks, and I'm excited for him. I remember him. He's going to go in there, and he's going to do what he needs to do.
We're going to talk a lot of personnel. We're coming up on the first break. Ed talked a lot of positive. I want to throw one negative in, or not negative, one sad note. Estacado offensive coordinator Rashawn Bell passed away last month. Sad, but that's a man who you had a long relationship with, and you guys impacted each other. So I'm glad that you guys got to spend that time together. We'll leave that at that and come back after the break.
Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. This is the Matador Fan Zone. I promised Eric I won't talk any more about that, what we hit on. I don't need emotional coaches here. We need good emotions. We need football emotion because we're starting football season. I've been able to ask this for the first three coaches, and I'll do the same for you. When Mike Meeks sat you guys down and said this was what I want to do, I want to do a showcase where you guys play each other, did that kind of get you salivating the idea of playing an LISD team right off the bat?
You know, that's boss man. So whatever he wants, you know, we're going to give it to him.
We already talked about how he knows all the good places to eat. So
yes, sir. He knows a lot of good restaurants to eat, and he asked me. I can never top what he wants because he knows he's a foodie. And so
you don't mess with that guy on that.
Yes,
on that
sir.
Front.
Yeah, you know, and I love working under him, and I respect him to the utmost, and I think this is great for the community. And
you're a Wichita Falls guy, and I don't know if there was ever. I know they played each other. Obviously, you're in the same district. I'm just trying to figure out if it's the first time ever that the four teams have played each other on the same, at least the same opening weekend. I couldn't find it. It's a unique,
yes, sir,
unique deal, and it's, to me, and you're going to tell me how you get guys ready for game. And coach is coach, but kids are kids, and I would think the coach or the kids at all four of those schools, there was a little bit more juice this summer, thinking, all right, I'm going to be playing that guy across town, that guy that I grew up with, or the one I went to middle school with, the one I played baseball with. It's going to add just a little bit more for all 4 teams.
Yes, sir, absolutely. You know, a lot of kids grew up together, and they're going to be playing their friends, and so that's going to create some excitement. You know, a lot of families going to be playing against each other.
Yes.
You know, Coach Meeks preaches a lot about protecting community-based athletics, and this is the way to promote it, and this is one of the best ways because people love football. And to see, you know, kids that you know from the community going out there and, you know, having fun and playing the game and honoring the game, there's no better feeling.
You've been here long enough. Lon, I guess, is the one who's been here the longest. But all 4 of you guys have been here long enough now. You're look across the field, you're going to see kids that you probably saw play in middle school and thought, man, they'd look good in blue, but now they're in black and gold. That's the way it happens in these bigger districts. You mentioned families. As far as you can tell, are there any cousins playing against each other Thursday night?
For the most part, what I know, I'm sure there are relatives playing against each other, but for the most part, I think there's groups of friends that are playing against each other. And, you know, if you just reflect on being a kid yourself, that's some of the funnest memories.
Exactly.
You play with your friends and play against your friends, you know, but when it's all said and done, you know, it's all about having a great experience.
And this is the first step in a journey for Estacado that's very similar to what they've done before. Your goal is to get to district, get to playoffs, and keep winning.
Yes, sir.
How does this game help you start that process? Because Lubbock High is going to be better than they have been. Juan's built something over 5 years, and now this is where I think they start to see some results.
You know, to answer your question, we always focus on the process. And so, you know, sometimes it feels like it's not happening fast enough, and sometimes it happens all at once. And so we stick to the script and just work on the process, and we're going to let the rest take care of itself.
I'm calling up your schedule here because I just made a graphic out of this earlier today for our season preview stuff. Well, you got some old traditional rivals on there for Estacado. And your district's a smaller district, so you can kind of get guys ready, which is good for you because you have a lot of young guys. You got some time to kind of get them ready because after Lubbock High, they play Sweetwater, which back in the Lewis Kelly days, that was a brawl right there. That was some great football. Snyder, which you played through the years, Big Spring through the years. Pecos is new. It's that one. I don't remember that one coming up. But then the one that always catches my attention is Andrews. I'm gonna throw a name out here and see if you know this guy, Shad Williams. Mm-hmm. So that's how old I was. I covered Shad, or I watched Shad in high school. That dude he's coaching somewhere now nearby.
I can't remember where he's coaching.
He spent time at Texas Tech. He spent time at Alabama. And then he got into high school, I believe. I don't know if he's coaching or if he's a strength and conditioning coordinator. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of power in a little package with that dude.
Yes, sir.
Which I think you know a little bit about that. You're not a little dude, but I believe I've seen those clips where you had a little bit of power. So
yes, sir. And
then Matador's district is the same as it has been. It's Perryton, Liberty, Levelland, and those 3. So your district decides, or who am I missing? Perryton, Borger, Liberty, and Levelland, right? 5 teams. So, which your district's kind of interesting. Somebody's going to get left out. So it's just going to it's like musical chairs. Music's going to stop. Somebody's season's going to end. So you guys don't have to worry about that. You'll be in the hunt. So we're going to, when we come back from the break, I want Eric to talk about the guys he does have coming back. He's got a quarterback coming back that I think he knows pretty well. And then he's got some other guys. We were talking about some of the young guys in the break who's got a little bit of a taste of varsity, but now they're going to get the full plate this year.
Yes, sir.
But I want to hear some of those names because you did lose some pretty prominent players that have been around for a while. But again, high school coaches, you get the next wave and say, let's start playing. So we've got one more segment of the Matador Fan Zone.
Breaking down Estacado sports. This is the Matador Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I don't know if Ben picks the music or not, but that was like a little bit of bluegrass there. It was about to put me to sleep, Ben. You got to get me away from that bluegrass. I need something a little bit more energetic.
So I do not pick the music.
All right, here we go. He's off the hook. So
fortunately or unfortunately for you,
I'm going to guess that Eric, 6 boys at home. Mm-hmm. When you get home at night, I'm going to guess sleep comes pretty easy, or does Mrs. Ward make sure you stay up for a while to help?
Well, you know, my wife and I, we work out.
I'm not going to say any Thetford things, I promise.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My wife and I, we work opposite schedules. She works nights, I work days. So when she's off, you know, we have our family time. My wife and all our boys. But when she's working, you know, I call it the 5th quarter. You know, 4th quarters is through the day. You know, at work, and all the work-related things we do as coaches. And the fifth quarter is when I get home with boys.
You cook?
I can cook, but she prefers to do it, and I do what I do on the grill, and we kind of compromise at that. But the fifth quarter is when I get home, and as soon as I get home, it's like the toy dropping on the weekend. The boys are up, and my boys get into another gear. They love all, myself and their mom, but they love when Dad come home. They spend a lot of time at the field house. I believe in the living and breathing field house, and so my boys spend a lot of time up there. They love football, and I just can't be more grateful than having all these boys.
Well, let's talk about one that especially spends a lot of time there, because without putting too much pressure on him or his dad, I kind of feel like J. Rick Ward, your second-year starting quarterback, holds a lot of the keys to what you guys are going to be able to do this season. You've got some other starters back. You've other guys, but you're a former receiver. That quarterback. Mm-hmm. You've got to get good quarterback play to be a really good team.
Absolutely. Not having a quarterback can really, be detrimental to you. But having one that's cerebral and that understands and that can lead and that kids can rally behind, that's a blessing within itself. I think the quarterback position as an extension of the coaching staff. And so if you have a level-headed kid, no matter who he is, then you're going to have a player-led team in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
I remember last year a couple times you'd say that J. Rick knew the way to get off the field and avoid the head coach. Mm-hmm. If something bad had happened.
It's something to be said for kids that have dads that coach, because they're never let off the hook.
No.
And so I've been coaching Jarek I've been coaching him since he was 7 years old, and I coach all my boys in football, but there's a look that I give him. And he understands, I don't have to say much, but what I don't do, I don't embarrass him in front of his peers, because that takes away his leadership.
Right.
If I have something to talk to him about, I'll walk down the sideline with him and I'll tell him. Or there's certain words I can tell him, and he understands where I'm coming from.
So if you're the good-natured but dad, head coach, we'll say bad cop, but I mean that who's the good cop? Who is Reginald Davis the guy who can?
I would say, Coach Davis is, and no offense to girl dads, but I've seen the soft side of Coach Davis.
And that's the good side of it.
That's the good side. Unfortunately, like I tell him, like, hey, Reg, you can get on to him, and he's like, all right, I got you. But he's the one that's the one that mellows everything out, because I'm one way, he's another, but it takes both. That's why you have a coaching staff, because everybody's different, but they all work together for the common goal. And so, me and Coach Davis were really close. And so our family spend a lot of time when we get together. We spend a lot of time talking and stuff like that. But I have something to be said for girl dads, man. I think that's a special privilege.
I'm gonna send you and him both something I just sent to my daughters that he'll appreciate, and you'll appreciate us a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Mike Meeks, he coached a long time with John Parchman, legendary coach. Mike was one of the pick up the pieces coaches, kind of lift the guy's spirits, because Coach Parchman was old school now, and you didn't want to get in that doghouse, but if you did, Mike would come and get you out and kind of pick you better. So you're right, every staff's got to have them. Estacado, Lubbock High, 7 p.m. Thursday. That's on LubbockISTSports.net. Every Lubbock High, or all Lubbock ISD games will be their audio and TV. We'll be back Monday in the High School Fan Zone with Friendship, Lubbock, Cooper, Liberty, and Memorial. This is Randy Rosetta on 100.7 The Score.